Alright, appreciate everyone's patience during that setup. We had a few things that needed to be cleaned up there, so once again, appreciate everyone's patience. Go ahead and revert back to the menu. Alright, so this is Clayfighter 2, game I played a lot growing up. Like, man, I rented this game way too many times. I couldn't even tell you why. I liked the first one fine, but something just really stuck out to me about the second one, and I just enjoyed it that much more. And the speedrun's pretty cool. It's very abusable, lots of exploits. Well, one in particular. A couple of things we're going to do first. We're going to do this. Get our speed up. Then we're going to unlock all characters. Hang on. There we go. Okay, so unlocking characters is something you can do as you progress through the game. You know, you beat the game with a character, you unlock their boss mode, but you can't save in this game, so you'd have to leave the game on the whole time to be able to do that, whereas there's just a code that lets you just unlock them all at once, so we're going to use that. Whereas the other one basically does nothing but just increase our speed. And why would we not want to increase speed? We want to go fast, right? Ordinarily, we have it down to about a 3 for default, but we can go all the way up to 10 here. We're going to turn foreground objects off, and God help me, I wish more games had this option. And I'm going to do one quick change to my config just to make things a little bit easier on myself. There's a category for each difficulty. I run all 3, but today I'm just going to be doing the default difficulty. Easy's kind of lackluster, I think, and hard has way too much room for failure. So I'm good to go on our medium run here. So here we have all our default characters, and on the bottom we have our boss characters who are inverts. Butch is the character we're going to be using because he's really busted. So let's go ahead and get started at 3, 2, 1, go. Get our game started here. Butch versus Blob. So there's only one thing to really note about Butch. He has a move called two-step. It's really, really stupid and very abusable. Does a lot of damage, especially when you can get in a lot of hits. Like, it can hit 2 times all by itself as long as the hitbox is proper. Bob's kind of trolling us, though, but he is one of the hardest fights in the tower, unfortunately. Mostly just because his hitbox is just so tiny. No pun intended. Getting quite a few hits there. As you can see, we're just able to just spam this move non-stop. Just go in on them, do chip damage, do combo damage. Just turn them down. Not too shabby. Cool thing about doing two-step is as long as you're doing it with the heaviest punch, which this game's a 6-button fighter just like Street Fighter is, you get really good options if you miss the input for the two-step, which is a dragon punch motion. What I mean by that is if you mess up the input, you're probably getting either Butch's standing heavy punch or his crouching heavy punch, and both of those moves are also very, very good. And they can combo into two-step. Nice uppercut, though. Gonna be going in on him. Gugu is one of the easier fights in the tower. He has some options. I actually think he's a really cool character, but he doesn't do very well at pushing AI off of him. That's pretty much all the tech I can really talk about with Butch, so I'll just talk about the fights from here. Octo, similarly to Blob, can have some difficulties because his hitbox is very tiny. It's not quite as bad as Blob is, but he does have some very good reactive moves, particularly his crouching medium kick can go under two-step. It doesn't beat it, like it won't actually hit me because two-step leaves the ground, but it does avoid it, which is relevant. So we're pretty much just going to be seeing 10 fights of nothing but just going aggro. Come here, you. Another cool thing about two-step, if you do the heavy punch version, Butch basically just flies across the screen. Like, he is just in there. Butch versus Bad Mr. Frosty. Haven't had too much difficulty with Frosty overall in the past, but he can be a bit of a troll. If he gets some good hits on you and dizzies you, he can do a lot of damage, and has cost me rounds in the past. He does have some good normals. His crouching heavy kick is a really good sweep, for example. Snowball is a good get-off-me move because he can do it on a charge back, but it didn't matter. Just put him in the corner and didn't let him get out. Love the salty bet callouts. Ooh, took a lot of damage here. You got steamrolled on that one. So the top times in this game are like sub 8. In fact, I just got a 7:52 yesterday, which is my current PB. 7:45 is the world record. Don't anticipate getting sub 8 in a marathon, but you never know. It definitely requires no round losses. Kangu's not too difficult of an opponent most of the time, but you do need to put her in the corner. She has some good tools, but none of those tools beat speed two-step, not even her Dragon Punch. The reason it was beating me there is because I was dropping the input. She does have a cool stage theme, though, I think. Going in. And, of course, once you get them dizzy, you just do two-hit, two-step into pretty much whatever you want. Alright, this is actually going to be the scariest fight of the entire tower. Nanaman is awful. He has a really good fireball that has great pushback, and he can 2-in-1 into it, and he has a slide that can go under two-step. He can also combo it into his bicycle kick, which is an anti-air. So we may have some problems here. He gives me more problems than anybody in the tower, bar none. As long as I can pressure him properly, we should be okay. But again, as I mentioned before, he has a lot of good anti-pressure tools. You can see by the fact that I just took so much damage there. With it going so much faster, too, that also doesn't help. Whoa, total miss. That was kind of scary, actually. Get in the corner, please. Jeez, how's that not hitting you? Alright, second round went a little bit better than the first one, but still. Nana's a troll. What can you do? So for all three, go Tiny. Tiny is who we had to beat the game with to unlock Butch. Also, I'm kind of mad that he's wearing the same outfit that I am, right down to the boots. Outside of the tan, of course, because man, look at that tan. Tiny does have some good tools. He has both vertical and horizontal medicine ball, which you can treat like Kano's cannonball in Mortal Kombat. Particularly MK3, because he has both there. And those can break out of this if he times it properly. We're just hoping he doesn't do that. He does have the same normals we do. But again, as long as we can keep the pressure, should be fine. There we go. Here's how the tower works. We fight the 8 default characters in a random order. We then get a 9th stage that always takes place in the same stage called Mount Mushmore. And we fight a random opponent. It's one of the 8 default characters chosen completely at random. We have no idea who it's going to be until it happens. Then after that, we're going to fight the boss, which in this case is going to be Bush. The bosses, when you play through a single-player campaign, always fight the mirror match at the very end, whereas their counterparts would fight them. Like, for example, if I played through with Tiny, I would fight Butch in the finale. But as Butch, I still fight Butch, because you always have to fight a boss to close it out. Alright, Hoppy didn't put up that much of a fight there. Hoppy's generally not too hard, but he does have some good charge moves that can act as good keep-out moves. Thankfully, we didn't get hit with too much of that there. Got Hoppy at random. Not bad. Not bad. Generally, as long as I don't get Nana here, I'm fine with it. The stage is also very yellow. Goodness gracious. Especially with him in front of that. Get your bananas out for this one. There's so much mush. Oh yeah, it doesn't really matter what kind of settings you have on either, because you can always just count down the score at the very end, which is really cool. Has a Sonic Boom, has a Dragon Punch, and it doesn't matter. Alright, on to our last stage, which as mentioned before is just going to be a mirror match. We're going right back to the Claymore Castle. Love that lip, by the way. Really no change in tune here. Be going in real hard with all these heavy punches. You may have also noticed I start every round just about with a jumping heavy punch. Moves really, really good. It's an excellent anti-air. It puts them in perfect ground position for you to be able to go right into your two-step nonsense. As you can see. Time's going to be once I close out this round. Oh, he dropped the flatulence on me again. Damn, video game. I hear you. Tired of my nonsense. I get it. Oof. Resistance, and we got there. That's time. Ugh, man, he put up some serious defense there at the end. Hit with shoulders, repeat, exactly. Not at all inaccurate. I also love these mid difficulty credits. These people made this game. Had someone back then even asking about playing Magic the Gathering. That wasn't really a thing you saw in video games in 1994, but here we are. So, I enjoyed that run. I don't think I've learned a fighting game run on the SNES since. I run a fair number of them. I even ran UMK3 in my first SNES Super Stars, but this one, for being as ridiculous as it is really fun. Plus, it just has a ton of memes. The quotes are great. The characters look awesome. Claymation is absolutely a product of its time, but can't say looking at it. It's what it is. I grew up with it, and no, that is definitely not world record. World record in this game is 745, but 826 still isn't a bad run. I'm definitely happy with the sub 830. Alright everyone, I think we've got one more game coming up for you, so stick around and we'll get her going.